On the Republican side, I think Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey suffered, if I may put it this way, a body blow that was self-inflicted. I think he came off as self-absorbed, self-important. He could barely bring himself to mention the name of his party's own nominee. He seemed to me to be of less than national stature, and that particular venue revealed that fact.
I agree with that. I think he's the biggest loser at the Republican convention. The more controversial nominee for that role is Paul Ryan, the vice presidential running mate. I say that because part of Ryan's image is the straight talker, the architect of the Republican economic plan, someone that the Washington community has become rather infatuated with. He gave a talk that played fast and loose with the facts, not just specific detailed things, but conveying impressions that just did real injustice to the reality. And it ended up determining almost the entire media coverage of the second day of the conventions.
Let me make an equally controversial proposal with which you may not agree. I thought President Obama's speech last night was a disappointment, and I'm not alone in thinking that. I think it was a mistake for him to fully outsource the defense of his own record to former President Clinton. There was almost nothing in the speech about his own record. And I was disappointed, especially given the buildup to the speech, that it talked about goals rather than plans.
I'm an outlier. I thought I saw an adult, a real president, honest about having learned and having suffered along with the country. I found it sober, but I also found it sort of very strong and very hopeful.
What about some winners? Well, let me give you two about which there will be no argument whatsoever. Michelle Obama and my old boss, Bill Clinton. And Clinton's speech was a rhetorical masterpiece on so many levels that one hardly knows where to begin. But to sum it up, he showed how to connect history, principle, policy, and politics. Put them all together in a seamless presentation that invited his listeners into his thought process.
I do think it's at the very top, and the one I would put second is actually Michelle Obama's. I thought in her case it was performance and presentation more than the substance of what she was saying, but seldom have I seen a more gifted, effective performance, and one that seemed not to be an actor reciting her lines, but spoken from the heart.
Marco Rubio did nothing to disqualify himself in the speech that he gave. It was well received, and I think deservedly so. He told the American dream story, which was a motif of both conventions, to a point of getting tiresome, I think, as well as anybody did. The other very well-received speech was by another Latino, in this case a Latina, Susana Martinez. I think surprised everybody. Yeah. People didn't really regard her as a heavyweight, but when she came out on stage, her evident comfort in her own skin and her sort of humorous toughness, the anecdote about about gardening the church bingo game with a .357 Magnum at the age of 17 as the sole employee of her parents' new firm. It was just an endearing performance, and one that suggested that there was a substantive person there.
The Romney campaign has made a huge ad buy, starting the day after the Democratic convention ended in the battleground states. And as best we can tell, it really is trying to return the campaign debate to a referendum on President Obama and the performance of the economy.
Who wins the election depends on what the American people decide this election is more about.